Welcome to Garage Gym Athlete Ask Me Anything. It's pretty simple. I'll be answering questions from the thousands of athletes that follow our daily programming. If you have a question or topic you want submitted, go to garagegymathlete.com/AMA. Let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Joe Courtney. How's it going, Joe?
Another AMA day.
AMA, and this one's a follow-up. I wanted to break these up because they are quite different. And so I did that on the fly last week. This is Thor again. So Thor last week had a question about block zero. We talked about that. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Now, Thor's second question was, to what extent do you use the data/metrics from Fit Week as input to programming future cycles? Interested to hear what you use the data for, to the extent you can, without revealing any trade secrets. Yeah. Okay. So that'll be primarily on me to answer this question. Joe uses a lot of our reporting features in Team Builder for other reasons, like what do you want to call them? Awards or
patches and stuff.
Rewards, not awards, I guess. Like patches and everything. So what do I use the data for? Well, recently, because he's talking about specifically Fit Week, we gamified Fit Week a bit. So if you've been a part of our Fit Week, Fit Week is where we do a week of testing. We test a bunch of different metrics. We recently changed or updated what those metrics were, but we also gamified it in the app a little bit to where you report points. And that has made it 1,000 times easier for me to pull data, because I can just pull points on like your overall total points. So I don't have to necessarily look at like, okay, what was their back squat last time versus what's their back squat this time. I can see an increase in points per Fit Week. And that's what I'm looking at these days. And that I did that intentionally, gamified it, not just for the athlete, but for me to be able to better utilize that, because before we had to do metric specific. And so what I've done in the past is, the way we program is we have a major and a minor for every cycle. And so what I would typically do, just to check my programming, is one, I would typically do a progress check. I'll do a progress check in programming. This is some trade secrets here, but that's basically a repeat workout from week 1 to, like, say, week 6 or something like that. I'll do a repeat workout, and I'll actually compare that specific workout with the first time athletes did it, and just kind of look at the trend and see if people are getting better, moving in the right direction. And most of the time, if they are, that's great. If for some reason they moved in the wrong direction and it was a majority of the athletes, then you have a problem with your programming. We've been programming for so long, I don't worry about those things as much. And so now I'm more focused on those points. I want to see how many athletes are moving up in points, because some athletes move up a lot in their total points because they might be low recruit and their total points for Fit Week will go up a ton. But then we have athletes more at the top who are getting closer to competitor, because once you get to competitor, you can't really get any more points. I'm looking to see if they're having like a 1 or 2 point difference. And so that's how I'm using the data these days. I did a lot of progress checks. I would look at specific metrics to make sure my major and minor, I was achieving the goals I wanted to achieve and told the athletes we were going to achieve over a 12-week cycle. So I look at those things. And now since we changed Fit Week, I've primarily been looking at those total points, because that's a good indicator of an athlete's overall fitness level, as opposed to just looking at one thing or the other. Any input or thoughts on data metrics, Joe?
So mine is more of a film review kind of side of it. And I do all of the PR shirt processing. So I watch all those videos, and plus just seeing all the videos on our shared feed on the closed group anyway. And I know that, I'm programming strength now. That's the only track I'm responsible for. But I know that seeing a lot of people with their lifts in like back squat, deadlift, and front squat, that this is just one example of how I adjust my programming cycle to cycle. Is I've noticed that a lot of people have mid and upper back stability issues, and like that is where a lot of their lifts are breaking down. So in strength, I've been adding extra mid and upper back stability, and like loaded carries, and just holding heavier weights and things like that to build that upper and mid back stability, so that when they do go to test again, that's going to hold stronger and better, so that they can lift more and do better on those metrics. And that's just one thing that I have started to do with strength. And there's other things that I've noticed as well that I kind of play with and decide to add in as well. And even looking back to past cycles, I'll self-assess the program and see, okay, what we didn't do a lot of, what we did do a lot of, and make adjustments from there, cycle to cycle.
Yeah. And I would say a big difference between what we do and other people do is we have standards that we're trying to get you to adhere to. We have recruit, establish, and competitor, right? So we want you to have a certain percentage of your body weight at X percent, for back squat and deadlift. And so we've kind of worked out how to balance you out. When people are going fully individualized, sometimes they get worried about different kind of metrics, like, well, what percentage of my back squat is my deadlift or vice versa, and those things don't really matter because we have standards that you should be trying to achieve, and so everything else will work itself out. And not a lot of websites out there have a standard that they've published and they expect athletes to adhere to.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, guys. Thor, thanks for the question, man. And if you do have a question, anyone else, or Thor, if you have another one, garagegymathlete.com/AMA. Ask the question and we will get to it here on the show. If you are on YouTube, all the things, like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you like and don't like with all the content we're producing. And then on the podcast feed, which is the majority of the listeners, thank you for listening. If you guys could leave a 5-star review and a positive comment, we would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed today's Ask Me Anything episode. So one more time, if you want to submit a question, topic, or idea, you can do so at garagegymathlete.com/AMA. And hey, while you're there, if you haven't already, sign up for Garage Gym Athlete membership. We are the best community and programming on the internet. I dare you to try and prove me wrong.